Do you guys have the slightest idea the power of orientation? Like, do you know what orientation can do in your life? When I'm talking about orientation, I mean like when you're born into a family, the kind of things that the family does to you, the kind of values and morals that they instill in you. Do you know how much that thing can do? If it's good, do you know how far it can take you in life? If it's a good stuff, or if it's a bad stuff, do you know how much damage it can do to you? I know a lot of you have a vague idea. Today, I'm going to be talking about Miss Adenike. Adenike is just a, your normal Nigerian girl born into polygamous family. Now, it's quite unfortunate because the experience she had in her father's house is not one anybody would wish for on themselves. Okay, now, before I move any further, it's your girl Jessie Rogers here on The Kiwi Show. How about you click the like button and do not forget to subscribe and share to your friends. Now, this story, you might be wondering, why is Jessie just talking about some random gay? Actually, the reason why the story came to limelight was because recently it was found out that she actually faked her death. Oh, yes. You see, at the time of her interview, at the time of her first interview, it was brought to our notice that she committed suicide after that interview. So we recently found out that it was actually a fake. She faked her death. You're wondering why she would have done that, right? Let me tell you a story. Okay, so Miss Adenike, like I said, was born into a polygamous family, but she had to live with her grandmother. While she was with her grandma, she had this uncle she was very fond of. The uncle happened to be a relative of her grandma, a distant relative of her grandmother. So she had this uncle she was used to, all right? Uncle Jerry, as she called him on that interview.
Sometimes I would serve the sister in the morning and then serve the brother at night.
She would always hang out with the man, she was fond of Uncle Jerry, like I said. And at the age of 5, she had a very wonderful encounter with the man. To the point she was at his place and he started to do very funny things to her. You guys know the word molestation. Yes, he started doing those things to her. And like she said in the interview, she started with his fingers, and before you know, he graduated to the main stuff. And you're looking at a child within the age range of 5, 6, 7. She has already started experiencing such nastiness. The heartbreaking part of this whole incident, he threatened her not to talk to anybody about it. The sister of the man, as at then, I don't know how old he was, so I can't use the word young man. Now, his sister, who was an auntie to her, caught them at some point. Do you know what this woman did? She didn't speak up, she didn't yell, because that is something atrocious that you just witnessed. It's happening between uncle and niece. You just witnessed something very, very sickening. You're supposed to call out, speak. But what this woman did was tell the small girl, come. What were you doing with your uncle? So she tried to, hide, but she told her, let it all out. She eventually let it all out and confessed to the woman. Of course, the woman saw everything herself. Now, what did this woman do? She told the girl, if you don't want me to tell your grandmother, whenever your grandmother gives you food, bring it to me. Food, seriously. So she preferred to eat food and watch that girl get destroyed. People are selfish, yes, but there are some things that will never make sense to me. I would just believe that you're a devil incarnate. Seriously. Food. The girl was scared. She's a scared little girl that didn't have her mother or her dad. So she went on. She played, she continued. She didn't have anybody she could talk to. Her grandma had sometimes, made some statements looking like she knew what was going on. But one might say, oh, it's an old woman's ranting. She probably didn't have any idea what was going on. Now, at the end of the day, it wasn't just that Uncle Jerry that was abusing this girl, but the sister as well, because it didn't end at the food. She would tell the girl sometimes to come and perform some atrocities on her. Let's put it that way. I'll leave your minds to imagine. She called the young girl, just like her brother was doing to the young girl. She too, the same young girl that is supposedly your niece. She was 5. Before I move any further with this story, I like to take a break sometimes for you people to just think. Just imagine this whole scenario. Now, she has been abused. I don't know how many of you have heard this phrase, hurt people. As in people who have been hurt, they tend to hurt others. That is the story of this poor Nike girl. Fast forward to when she became 9 years old. She went to live with an uncle of hers. The uncle is the brother of her mother, all right? His son was 6 when she was 9 years old. A 6-year-old boy will be left in the house with his cousin. And, when nobody is around, she starts to do funny things with her cousin. She may not even know why she's doing it, but she's already accustomed to it. Are you guys following? Are you seeing what's happening here? It has been done to her already. So her body has been adjusted to those kind of activities. Alright, so she staying without it is gonna feel weird. That's why she tried experimenting on her cousin. This is sad. At age 9, she's already perpetrating such activities, such evil activities. Because sometimes people do things and you're wondering, why is this person like this? You never can tell the hell they're coming from or what they've already been put through. The truth of the matter is, you can't keep blaming, oh, yes, I know that the parents play a huge role and they are to blame. You understand? They play a very huge role in the lives of their kids, and whenever something goes wrong, yes, you're supposed to hold the parents accountable. But What about, she was with family. Should I tell you guys something else? Her older sister that used to hawk, they also stayed with the grandma, her blood older sister that came from her mother, knew what was going on. She didn't ever try to defend her sister, ever. You ask yourself, why? Why did they just let that girl go through that kind of shit? Now, Nike grows up to be some insatiable beast, in that area. She proceeds to date a man when she was in the university. That one used her to, broke her heart, moved on. Now, her story is intriguing because in that interview, she revealed that at some point she had to buy dogs to satisfy her needs in the bedroom. Oh, come on, don't give that face. Everybody has their little secret that they're hiding from the rest of the world. That was hers. She decided to come and share it because she was tired. She was done. That's why she decided she was going to come to the public and talk about it. When you hear for the first time, well, let me say you caught her in that act, you'll be wondering, ew, this person is possessed, this person is demonic. How can she do something like this? You have a lot to say. But look at this girl's story from back. Look at her ground story. It's sad and very, very heartbreaking. All right. Her mom never knew what was going on. Nobody. She even mentioned the fact that her dad at one point denied her. Polygamy. Should we talk about polygamy? All right. Now, if you're enjoying this show, do not forget to click the like button, guys. You see me in your dream. All right, so if you've clicked the like button, don't forget to subscribe and of course share to your friends. Now back to the story. I want us to talk about polygamy. Now a lot of very African traditional men will be like, a man is supposed to, a lot of them have very, very funny ideologies when it comes to polygamy and stuff. If you can handle polygamy, what comes with polygamy? Okay, fine, no problem. If you can be able to give your kids attention, because polygamy involves having a large family, can you handle it? Not just financially, emotionally, mentally. It's not just to drop children everywhere. Can you look after them? Can your presence be, visible in their lives? Now, before you start thinking, oh, polygamy is where a man has legally married 2 wives or more. Sometimes it's not legal. Polygamy can be illegal. What do you people even define as illegal and legal? Legal is when they have a proper traditional marriage and white wedding, right? Okay. But the truth of the matter is, polygamy is not just about the marriage part, the birthing part too. If you're a married man and you have a woman outside your home who has given birth to your children, maybe your wife doesn't know about it or maybe she knows about it, whichever, but as long as you have more than one woman who is continuing your line, a polygamous man, whether you marry them or not, you're polygamous. Yes, you are handling a family at 2 different locations or more. You're a polygamous man. It doesn't have to be certified by marriage. It doesn't at all. So now you want to do polygamy, Let's come back to the story. You want to do polygamy, you don't have, you see my hand? Nothing, you don't have money. Not that I'm trying to make this about money, but polygamy that comes with a lot of children, it needs a lot of taking care of. You don't just take care of children, you take care of their mothers as well. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of expense. Do you know how much Cerelac is now? Do you know how much baby milk is now? Do you know how much Pampers is now? And baby items and everything, even hospital bill where they'll give birth to the children. As a man, you're not seeing money in large quantity. You are carrying more than one woman. Why? And in an environment where they are struggling for their father's attention, because you cannot give all of them attention at the same time. Nike came from a very chaotic family where her stepbrothers even used to beat her father. What do you expect? Tell me. You have different women in the family who are sowing seed of discord among their children, telling them, that's your brother from your father's other wife. He's a wizard, he's doing this to you. Of course, things will happen. Even in a normal nuclear family, sometimes siblings clash and have issues that are very, very intense. Now imagine a family where their mothers are different. Personally, I don't know, in this present age and time, polygamy is a very foolish idea for any man. Yes, I said it. Quote me anywhere. Polygamy is a very foolish idea. As foolish as it was back in the past, I don't blame them. Life wasn't that hard. All they had was their farm, and men needed more children to work on their farm. Life was simple. They sell the excess, make money. Life was very, very simple and easy. But now, you doing polygamy now with the current country's economy and every other thing, it's a very foolish idea. Both the ones that are doing it in secret and the ones that are doing it in the open. Why are you carrying 2 women? Answer me. You that is looking at me. Why are you carrying 2 women? 1 woman is enough work. I am a woman. I'm saying it. I know I'm a handful. Thank you. 1 woman is enough work. You carry 2 or more. You have 5, 6 baby mamas when you are not 001. No, now. Think about it. Now, it's one thing to be able to, there are some men that are man enough to actually put their polygamous family in check. When he comes around, everybody shake, everybody respects daddy. There are some men that are like that, but we don't raise those kind of men these days now. Where are they? Have they finished making video on TikTok? Anyways, that aside. Now, let's not digress from Nike's story. I'm just trying to like explain the downsides of polygamy, because honestly, if you ask me, I don't see, there's no upside whatsoever in polygamy. There aren't any upsides. What's the advantage? That you give birth to plenty children. What else? What else is there? Even the plenty children itself is work. It's not such an advantage. I'm keeping it real. So why do that to yourself? Like, you do this and then you don't even realize that you're hurting your children. I mean, look at the kind of background this Nike lady came from. A very chaotic family that they didn't even care about themselves. They didn't care about each other. No unity whatsoever. And the poor girl of 6 years was being abused over and over again by people she called uncle and auntie. This is the orientation I was talking about. Now, why did I talk about or emphasize on the power of orientation in the beginning of this video? Now, let me explain something to you. When things go into your subconscious, you don't even know they've gone into your subconscious. A child is born tabula rasa, right? A clean slate. And when things are kept on that clean slate, that's it. The dent has been made. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that dent that has been made, it's difficult to clean it. Children learn very fast from what they see. If you can't, you know how difficult it is to forget what you have seen. You can't unsee what you have seen with your eyes. It's difficult to remove it from your memory. You try to forget, but sometimes it just pops up. Whatever you see goes into your subconscious. Things you hear, it goes into your subconscious. It takes a lot of effort for you to consciously erase it or kick it out of your mind. But it still doesn't change the fact that you have seen it. Now look at a child that is growing up and learning and picking things from elders. When they see things, they copy. They put it in somewhere inside their head. Even if it doesn't manifest now, sometime in the future, it's going to manifest. Now imagine a child that didn't just see and hear, but felt. This is Nike's situation now. Like I said, normal kids, they learn quick from what they see and what they hear. Now, Nike didn't only see and hear, she felt. Things were done to her body. How will it not rest so comfortably in her subconscious? It will be difficult to control. I mean, put yourself in her shoes. Why did she resort to dogs, you may ask? Maybe some people will be like, maybe she would have ended up a prostitute and all those kind of talks, So I will tell you something. She hates men. That was what she said. It's painful to do it with a man. I quote her. It is painful. The first person who abused her, a man. Then she finally found a man that she can confide in, a man she can trust, a man she can be herself around. But instead, he downloaded more lies to her and hurt her. So she didn't like the idea of doing it with the man, but she liked the feeling of what she was doing. She liked the feeling. So therefore, she resorted to what? Dogs. Woof, woof. A lot of people who would have heard that one side of her story would have judged her so badly, really. But that is what orientation can do to a human being. What you learn from a tender age. This girl wasn't even up to 10 when she knew what the act called SEX was, when she knew what it was. Her brain was still developing. So those activities developed alongside her brain. I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Who do you think is to blame in this situation? The dad, the mom, the grandma, or her sister? The grandma she was living with had a huge role in her life. Like, she was her main guardian. So she should have done more of the work of watching where her girl was going to, where her grandchild was going to, her activities, her movements. But honestly, the whole family is to blame. She was but a child. The whole family is to blame. The good part of it is that she grew, and at some point she, started adjusting her life to what she wanted it to look like. She made some certain decisions that has helped her so far. All right. She said at some point she had to learn skills to survive. Because sometimes going in that kind of tough environments can ginger you, make you to be just be rugged, normal. So now let's go back to the cocoa of the whole issue. Let's step out of history. History can be crazy sometimes. Now, Nike faked her death. Why, you may ask? On that interview, she called a lot of names. She said a lot of things. She revealed a whole lot of things on that show. So, my opinion, that suicide stunt was a very smart move. Why did I say it's a smart move? Because that was going to save her a lot. Having revealed that much information to the public, mentioning names and strategic places and points. If she were alive, people who hated her, or people would want to come after her, people want to hurt her for the information she has leaked. She even talked about a movie producer, a well-known award-winning actor, according to her, right, that tried to harass her at some point in her life when she was chasing showcasing her acting career. She did not mention his name, but she talked about him in a very detailed way. So if anybody wants to attack her after that interview, it's not out of place. Yes, it wouldn't be out of place if they wanted to do that. So she faking her death would just put all of them should just put their mind at ease. They'll be like, okay, she has died, there's no point, let's just leave her. That's how I see it. I feel like that was a very smart move. Lay low, disappear. You know, like how Americans do it in Hollywood movies. They'll even change their identity and live with another name. I mean, it's crazy. She went through a series of harassments. She was abused, and in turn, she now became an abuser. When her dogs don't want to do, she'll beat them. She said it in the interview. She beats them black and blue for not wanting to do what she wanted. And she was like, why am I doing this? And she wanted a change. That's why she came on the interview. So guys, I mean, having listened to this very sad and hurtful, heartbreaking story, tell me, what are your thoughts? I will be reading your thoughts in the comment section. I want to know what you think. And you see that part of the family? I want you guys to tell me what you think about the family and the role they played in her life. I don't know how many of you know that story. I don't know how many of you know the story, but you can look it up and then get the full details, then tell me, what do you think? Personally, I feel her family failed her woefully. So if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, share to your friends. And we're always going to be here with more thrilling and wonderful stories. I love you guys. So until next time, mwah.